Fouling communities are communities of organisms found on artificial surfaces like the sides of docks, marinas, harbors, and boats. The animals in this particular community are protected by Mission Bay, therefore haven't needed to develop adaptations against wave shock. Since wave shock isn't an issue, organisms can be sessile, which refers to organisms that live attached to the bottom or to a surface. Now let's look at all the common organisms found in this community while also organizing them in their proper phylums. This is a yellow sponge, which is in the phylum Porifera. All sponges are filter feeders on plankton. Water flows through the body of the sponge and exits through these numerous columns. We found two segmented worms from the phylum Annelida, a pink worm and a clam worm. Marine annelids are called polychaetes, which literally means many bristles. Each segment on their body has a set of bristles. We found skeleton shrimp, which are arthropods. These tiny predators hold on to surfaces with their back legs and use their long front appendages, like a praying mantis does, to catch smaller crustaceans. This crustacean is called an isopod, and hundreds can be found living within the interior channels of sponges. These juvenile shore crabs are commonly found scurrying around in this community. We also found one mature female carrying eggs under her abdomen. Crabs carry their eggs until they hatch, releasing their young into the water column to drift for several weeks to months as plankton. The most common member of the fouling community is the bay mussel, which is a mollusk. It attaches itself to surfaces with numerous threads it secretes. Opened up, you can see the gills, which are used for filter feeding on plankton. We also saw a few oysters, which, like the bay mussel, is a bivalve that attaches to rocks and hard surfaces. Another mollusk we found is the volcano limpet, a type of marine snail that grazes on algae. Here we can see the animal's mouth surrounded by two sensory tentacles, a single gill on its left side, and the large muscular foot, which the animal uses to crawl with. This echinoderm is a brittle star. It has 5 long and flexible arms that move in a swift, snake-like manner and are used for locomotion, while their 2 feet are used for feeding. These sessile animals are also called tunicates because they are covered with a thick material wrapped around their bodies. If you squeeze them gently, you can see how they got their name. They suck in water through one of their siphons and blow it out through the other, filtering out plankton in the process. This is a colonial form of tunicate made up of miniature sea squirts called zooids. We saw 2 species of another type of colonial organism known as a bryozoan. They can grow as encrusting forms like this dark species, or they can also be bushy and resemble algae like this white one. This feathery clump is a hydroid, which is a colony belonging to the phylum Cnidaria. Each of the feathers bears tiny stinging polyps, which also allows it to catch and eat zooplankton. We saw a few anemones attached to blades of eelgrass. They have tentacles that capture small prey by discharging their nematocysts, which are stinging structures filled with toxin. While these adult jellyfish are not members of the fouling community, they have early stages of their life cycle that are attached to surfaces and produce tiny jellyfish that are released into the water. The sting of this species is too weak to be felt, but you should never touch any jellyfish unless they are certain it is this species. Here we see the 4 pink horseshoe-shaped gonads that produce eggs or sperm. After sorting out all the different species we collected, we saw 8 phyla and 17 species in total. We learned that this community is a diverse ecosystem filled with complex interrelationships.